udinga uhulumeni ukuthi uhlale unawo shem 600 million.
What?
Guys, from now on.
What's up?
South Africa yonke. For as long bengakahambi, every Thursday siyamasha.
Are you for real? Every Thursday? Wow.
Insizwa Nomtsizwa Development Foundation, we did not have any event today. When we heard that our sister is having a march, then we stopped everything and then we said we are going to come and support her because we are marking 1 year, 7 months, 1 year, 6 months, 7 months now. We supported her from the first day she initiated, before she registered the March and March as a civic organization. We were there. We supported her from Zululand. So today we said if she's honoring the day that we propose as a deadline, because Insizwa Nomtsizwa came up with the day. Insizwa Nomtsizwa came up with the deadline of the 30th of June. So when she's doing something in Durban, let us go and support her, because we are having a press briefing tomorrow in the same park, in Kukudlamini Park here in Durban.
Great job.
So it was a great success. We had 257,000 men that came from Insizwa Nomtsizwa to support Osiswam. We were anticipating 1 million, but because we are not funded and the taxes are not working, and also the people can, come from as far as paying 50 rand to just come for the march, they couldn't come. But they started making their groups in their own town, peaceful groups that I will post and say where these people were marching. So it was a beautiful sight, and we really appreciate and siyazibonga insizwa kakhulu. Sibonga insizwa kakhulu ngokuthi zithi into noma iqala umuntu wesifazane ebeseke beza bezoyeseka. We really appreciate that, because sometimes we say we love women, sometimes we say we want to empower women, but when women initiate things, men don't show up.
That's right. That's true.
I stand for that. I stand to oppose that men are not supportive to women. You saw I brought 257 men today to support Jacinta, and I've been supporting her from day one.
Okay. Wow, guys, we've had it straight out and clear. So this whole deadline of June 30th, it has been a scam. It has never been a deadline. It is just the beginning day. Oh my goodness. How is this going to happen? How practical is this? Cyril Ramaphosa, how are you going to handle this? Where are you going to get the 600 million rand every week? Well, we might cry about it and say, oh my goodness, where is the government is going to be in a loss and whatnot. But remember, who is the actual government here? People must be educated. Who is the government? Who is going to be losing the money? Because surely the top officials, the government officials are going to be losing money. Their salary is not going to decrease. It is we, the human, the subjects, the people, the common people are the ones who are going to face it, because now the budget is going to increase. The police budget, the security budget is going to increase. So that means the taxes are going to hype up and the life conditions and standards are going to become tough. You might think that you're doing a service to the community, but if you think about it well, it's actually a disservice, because if you're causing such money getting out of the national budget, then well. Anyways, as you've heard, Pakel Mtakati, the man himself who met with the president yesterday, tomorrow he said he is going to be having a press briefing, and in that press briefing we expect him to talk about some of the topics and the key points that he talked about with the president, because we know that Jacinta was not part of it. And as he has made it clear, right now is when he's making it clear that him and Jacinta, they are not actually in the same organization. They're just working together, they have same values, but they're not in the same organization. We all knew that, but now it is getting more clear and clearer, as we even also heard from himself saying that they did not have an event today. They did not have an event, and he was able to bring 257,000 men. Of course, there were some women, there were some children, and there were some, all kinds of people were there. But guys, that is an incredible number, and it's peculiar how he gets this all together. And you could even see how he was trying to manage the people, the discipline, how he coordinated everything out. It really needed a funding there. So I don't know whether the funding came from March and March, because he says that they didn't have enough funding. So even him, Pakea Mtakati, recognizes that they need funding for such events. Such events don't just happen out of people's pockets. They need funding. And so the question goes, who has been funding Jacinta? Who has been funding the March and March? Who has actually been putting in the money? Of course, she came out and thanked some of the political leaders from ANC, from different groups, and all sorts of groups that could put in the money and invest in. Even some other people, she didn't even mention their names. So you're wondering who are those guys? We'll stick on the video. However, I'm not here to talk about that specifically. I'm here just to point out that if this is just the beginning for every Thursday, how practical is this? Are people going to close their offices? They're going to close their shops every Thursday? Indeed, isn't this going to be an economic shutdown for the nation? As South Africa, because we've seen this has not been good for today. People have been scared to open shop. People even who have tried opening shop, they almost looted their shops because people were so many on the streets. And yeah, guys, this is not going to look good. If this is the beginning, like she says, please get yourself ready and prepare for the worst, because man, this is not going to stop now. So now let's look at how these things are going to be, because if these guys who met with the president say that the president is actually a good man and they're going to give us a press briefing tomorrow, let's wait and hear what they are going to say. But as for now, we have to understand that this is just the beginning, and y'all been waiting for this, like June 30th is the deadline, because right now as we are speaking, there are still foreigners in the country. There are still illegal foreigners in the country. And of course, the march has not brought jobs to people. People's jobs have not brought. Of course, the employers are going to try to struggle to get new workers and like whatnot. But are the people actually willing to work? Because that's also a question that keeps coming up. It keeps popping up in people's minds. Like every time we think about jobs, do you actually want these jobs? Because one of the claims that they say that the foreigners, when they come, they're actually underpaid, and they have no problem with that. So why would that be a problem for you? Because they are taking your jobs that you do not want. Che, somebody help me make it make sense. Because if you don't want a job, and I come and I do that job, maybe if you don't want a job because of a certain amount they are paying, and I come and I do that job, so why would you complain about the job? You didn't want the amount they were paying. Anyways, guys, this is not right. I know being illegal is not right, but those legal foreigners who are there and are willing to work on their papers, because at least those people who have been expelled out of the country or pushed out of the country unwillingly, they can go back and regroup. They can say, okay, you know what, it's about legal foreigners now, let me come back legal this time around, let me pay everything necessary, because I know at least some of them have been doing that, because there's no way you're going to jump into a plane into South Africa if you don't have a visa. That's not working. It's not going to help you. There's no way you're going to stay there if you do not have some documents at least. I know those guys have documents, just that maybe when they overstay and they don't renew their documents and whatnot, that's when things get stuffy and sticky and messed up until we find ourselves or they find themselves in this position where they are right now. But of course, we know that as these massive numbers of people and protesters have been gathered together, marching together peacefully, trying to coordinate here and there, after it all, had to go back home. And in going back home, that's when things started getting out of hand. Well, let's keep on. There are more videos that are coming up and more information that is coming up, and we'll keep you updated to make sure that you know exactly what is going on in your continent, Africa. And here on Annex Media, we are transforming the African narrative. Very many people are thinking evil about South Africa. They're like, you guys are so cold-blooded. How come you do something like that? Why don't you like people? What, blah, blah, blah. Please don't rush to judge. These guys have a valid point, but still, their practical solutions are not the best. Maybe you could give them an idea of how better can they do their things, how can they, refine here and there. But anyways, let's wait and see. Today, it's done. Next Thursday, we also expect something more. Who is funding this thing? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Ivan Magalia here on Annex Media. I'll keep you informed. You can follow us on other social media platforms like TikTok at Annex _media_Africa. And we'll be glad to keep in touch with you. Love you so much.